Well, we begin with breaking news. The House Oversight Committee is claiming they followed the money and built a record of evidence revealing how President Joe Biden knew, was involved, and benefited from his family's influence peddling schemes. Now, the House Oversight Committee is going to bring in members of the Biden family and their associates to question them on this record of evidence.
That's right. Chairman James Comer will issue subpoenas to President Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden, his brother James Biden, and the Biden family associate Rob Walker to appear for depositions. Chairman Comer will also request additional members of the Biden family and their associates to appear for transcribed interviews. Chairman Comer plans to send additional subpoenas and transcribed interview requests later this week.
My son walked up to the courthouse and he said to the judge running the house, "Hey, Bob, got a cohe, Bob." And the judge said no, without a doubt. "If you want some of that, Jack, go to the White House. Can I get you your laptop?" My son said, "Full stop." And then he waddled away.
Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? It's Benny. We are here in a hotel room in Miami because we are here for the Trump rally and the GOP debate, and we have breaking news that is so monstrous. We had to go live at a very different time. We've been busy setting up and doing a lot of stuff today, so we appreciate you sticking with us. But Hunter Biden has finally been subpoenaed. Hunter Biden has finally received a subpoena from Congress. James Comer, happening today, Wednesday, November 8th, 2023. This is monster news, and we will cover all of it and what we are going to see happening next. But very important to note that this is the day that we have been waiting for. This is the news that we have been waiting for, and that Hunter Biden and the White House will no longer be able to get away from the repercussions of Congress, which is, of course, the branch of government that we gave to Republicans. Republicans have not done a lot with what us, the voters, have given to them, as you saw in the election results last night. But this is actual results for us, and we are excited about it. Now, we've been all over the place this week. We've been in Washington, D.C. Now, of course, we're here in Miami area for the Trump rally tonight and for the debate. We're going to have access to both, and it's going to be a wild time. We really look forward to bringing you along with us, so stay tuned for all of that. But, ladies and gentlemen, the breaking news right now, the House GOP-led Oversight Committee has subpoenaed Hunter Biden along with Joe Biden's brother. This is an absolute bombshell. Here we go. Let's pop up the, again, we are traveling on the road here. Pop up the article, fresh, hot off the presses, published 10 minutes ago from Axios. So what happened? House Republicans Wednesday sent a subpoena to Hunter Biden and James Biden, son of the president, Joe Biden, as part of their impeachment inquiry into the president. Why it matters. This is the most assertive step yet that the House GOP has taken in the impeachment inquiry. Rob Walker, Biden family associate, the man who knows where all the bodies are buried, also received a subpoena. House Chairman James Comer of Kentucky is leading the way, saying he plans to request interviews from all other family members of Joe Biden. Would you subpoena Joe Biden? Of course you could, but he could claim executive privilege. It's very, very hard to lock down the president on things like this. The president has, of course, a phalanx of lawyers and constitutionalists to try and protect the executive branch. This then suddenly becomes a constitutional issue, protection of branches. I think Joe Biden should be subpoenaed. I think Joe Biden should be deported. But, I'm not in charge yet. The GOP inquiry has so far failed to provide direct evidence of the president committed any wrongdoing. That's complete and utter lies. Why do we even read articles like this? Why do we even read any articles like this? We have the checks. Here, the subpoenas include Sarah Biden, James Biden's wife, Melissa Cohen, Hunter Biden's wife, Haley Biden, the late Beau Biden's widow. This is important because she got paid through all of this. Tony Bobulinski, business associate, and Elizabeth Secundi, Haley's sister. This is a developing story and will be updated. Of course, this is very important because, well, we are going to now see from inside of the Biden crime family how the internal operations work, and now we have the receipts. That's really important. We have the actual checks. Here, ladies and gentlemen, is James Comer signing the subpoena for Hunter Biden, James Biden, and Rob Walker. This video has no audio to it. So we'll just play it for you here. This is James Comer using a big fat Sharpie to sign the subpoenas and to send them off. Will they be able to shield Hunter Biden? No, they will not. They will not be able to shield Hunter Biden. Greg Steube says it's time for answers. He was a member of Congress that joined us just yesterday on the live in Washington, D.C. Man, we have been rocking. Hunter Biden and James Biden are finally being subpoenaed. It is no coincidence that this is finally happening after Kevin McCarthy was vacated. The swamp is being drained, says D.C. Drano. Byron Donalds saying accountability is here. You may recall we were live from Byron Donalds' office. Byron Donalds is such a G. House Republicans did this. This is not a drill. So it's almost like Republicans knew that we would have a very, very sad election result, and they came in over the top in order to give Republicans a little something to look forward to. House Government Oversight just subpoenaed the Bidens. Here's a thread on what is to come. More to come, says Anna Paulina Luna. So this is what the subpoena looks like. Here's James Comer's signature right there, John Hancock. And here, Robert Hunter Biden. There you go, baby. And John Robinson Walker and James Biden. Now, all of this is extremely important and can be explained via Byron Donalds, who says exactly what the subpoenas are going to be used for, what they're going to do. This will now compel the Bidens to testify about what they knew. And we know exactly how this entire business operated. This is, of course, an indictment. This is, of course, a contempt of Congress trap, along with the possibility for them to implicate and indict their father, Byron Donalds.
We also now see a check paying Joe Biden directly from his brother, James Biden. Most people are focused on Hunter Biden, and they should. But James Biden has been involved in the Biden family scheme this entire time. So the check that was actually released last week demonstrates the flow of $200,000 from James Biden to Joe Biden, referencing a loan repayment. Well, one of the key ways that laundering money actually occurs or evading taxes occurs is when you treat them as loan repayments and not just as payments. So the key questions now are, where are the loan documents from Joe Biden to his brother Jim to demonstrate a need for a $200,000 repayment? Our investigation is going to continue. We're going to get to the bottom of this and hold this administration accountable.
Okay, so this was, of course, them promising to send the subpoenas along with the new Speaker of the House. Listen.
Are you expecting to subpoena Hunter Biden?
I'm looking at that. I think that desperate times call for desperate measures, and that perhaps is overdue. We've not made a full decision yet. I'm counseling with the attorneys involved on all of this to see what the contours of. I'm an attorney myself, so I speak the language. We're trying to move forward on some of this very aggressively. I think the American people are owed these answers, and I think our suspicions about all this, the evidence that we've gathered so far, as you know, is affirming what many of us feared may be the worst. And as Jamie Comer likes to say, bank records don't lie. We already have a lot of this evidence. The dots are being connected, and we'll see where it leads.
Okay, so let's go ahead and check in on Jamie Comer. He was talking to Sean Hannity about this just moments ago. Earlier in the week, Sean Hannity asked about the subpoena and what James Comer was planning on doing. James Comer was on our show saying the subpoenas will be happening this week, and here they are.
Yeah, look, we found another check to Joe Biden. That's what the media said that they felt like this investigation needed to do to be successful. Find a direct link between Joe Biden and his family's influence peddling. We've already proven that he met with all the people that sent his family money. We've proven that Joe Biden's lied countless times to the American people about his knowledge and involvement of his family's shady business dealings. We've proven the family had over 20 shell companies. We had proven they've had all these bank accounts. Now we have enough bank accounts in, Sean, where we can actually trace the money back to the source. So we found the check to Joe Biden. This is the second check in a week. The first one was for $200,000. This one was for $40,000. But what's most alarming about this $40,000 check, it traces directly back to China. It goes all the way back to that WhatsApp message that the Ways and Means Committee.
The WhatsApp message is Hunter saying, I'm sitting here next to my father, and we want to know why you didn't follow through on your commitment, and then threatening, between everybody he knows and my ability to hold a grudge, that there's going to be a shakedown.
That one. 5 days later, they wired $5 million.
Yeah. Okay. So we now have the confirmation We now have the confirmation that the Bidens will have to answer for this. Thank God. It could have happened on day one. It should have happened on day one. The White House seemed ill-prepared to answer questions about this. Here's Cringe Jean-Pierre being asked about this at the White House seconds ago.
The Oversight Committee has issued subpoenas for Hunter Biden, James Biden, and Biden family business associate Rob Walker. Do you have a comment on that?
So look, as you just mentioned, it's just breaking, so I don't have this information in front of me. I'm just hearing from you. Certainly, I would refer you to any of the personal representatives on this, on your question. But I will have to say something that I've said many times. This is an investigation that has been going on for a year now and has turned up zero evidence of wrongdoing by the president because there is none. But Republicans continue to double down on a baseless smear campaign against the president and his family. Instead of being focused on the American people's needs, what they're asking for, what is it that they really truly want us to focus on, they continue to double down on this. And there are a lot of important issues that we need to deal with, not just us here in the White House, but also Congress, national security, the economy, healthcare, gun violence. That's what we should be focusing on. But they continue to try to smear this president and his family on a baseless investigation. And so anything else further, certainly I would refer you to the personal.
Oh, okay. A baseless investigation. Got it. All right. Now, what's very interesting about that clip there is that Cringe Jean-Pierre is getting a question from the corporate media. The corporate media is then protecting Joe Biden in all of this until they actually break. And this is what I think is quite fascinating, is that the corporate media has begun to break on this story as they begin to see that Joe Biden has no chance of winning the presidency in 2024. The corporate press, including CNN, and that may well have been a CNN reporter who's asking that question. I do not know because it happened seconds ago. But CNN ran an absolute bombshell series of reports on the Biden crime family, and our jaw has not left the floor since we saw this reporting on the airwaves of CNN. If you want to know what actual panic smells like in Washington, D.C., looks like
Despite his denials, a CNN review of the laptop data, as well as other public material, shows that Joe Biden did interact with some of his son's associates while serving as vice president, though it's unclear exactly what was discussed. One example, the Republican cite Miguel Alemán Magnani, a Mexican businessman and son of the former president who Hunter was trying to woo. In 2014, Alemán Magnani and his dad were photographed at the White House with then Vice President Biden. In a later email, Hunter Biden reminds Alemán Magnani of the favors he's done for him. We have been talking about business deals and partnerships for 7 years. I have brought every single person you have ever asked me to bring to the effing White House and the Vice President's house and the inauguration. Hunter Biden bluntly acknowledged the power of the Biden name in a memoir, writing that the Ukrainian energy company Burisma, which put him on its board, considered my last name gold.
I don't think that there's a lot of things that would have happened in my life that if my last name wasn't Biden.
So Cringe Jean-Pierre is saying that this is a baseless attack on the Bidens. Yet there's CNN saying, wait a second, the Bidens clearly used their power and influence in order to enrich themselves. And
he has built his political career on promises of honesty, hard work, and a pledge that a family name means something.
I give you my word as a Biden.
I give you my word as a Biden.
But while Joe Biden swears by his name in politics, his son and 2 brothers spent years trying to benefit from the Biden name. It's all now the focus of a Republican-led congressional investigation.
We want to know what the Biden administration is trying to hide from the American people and why they are not being transparent.
Republican Congressman James Comer now chairs the House Oversight Committee and has set his sights on Joe Biden's son, Hunter, a mysterious laptop now in the hands of the FBI, and long-held conspiracy theories about President Joe Biden and what he does or doesn't know.
Long-held conspiracy theories. Okay, what about the conspiracy theory that the Biden family was effectively a crime syndicate that was being used in order to funnel enormous amounts of foreign cash into the American politique with massive payouts to the Bidens? Now, the checks from the Bidens that have been delivered, ALX grabbing that footage of Marjorie Taylor Greene with a giant check at the floor of the House. Let's get that speech, because we're going to need to look at the hard evidence here. Now, shockingly and stunningly enough, CNN actually did look at the hard evidence and did come to the conclusion that this family is shady as hell. Again, we only play you this, not, of course, to praise CNN, because CNN is not worthy of anyone's praise, but to say that when Cringe Jean-Pierre says to a room full of reporters that there's no evidence of any wrongdoing for the Bidens, let me point you in this direction.
Healthcare entrepreneur Michael Frey told CNN Joe Biden's other brother, James, broke financial promises he made while referencing the Biden name. Frey's company filed a lawsuit alleging fraud by James Biden, who denied the claims. Frey spoke to CNN before the lawsuit settled in 2020.
Everything was on the Biden name, and so we took that to heart.
James Biden was also named in a lawsuit filed in July. He allegedly received about $600,000 in loans in 2018 from a company he worked with, AmeriCorps Health, based upon representations that his last name Biden could open doors, and that he could obtain a large investment from the Middle East based on his political connections. The suit states that the investment was never delivered. The lawsuit was settled, though James Biden denied the allegations in court filings. He did not respond to a request for comment.
Okay, well, they will have to respond to a request for comment because it's James Biden there that was the person who has just been subpoenaed, along with, of course, Hunter Biden. Now, what's going to happen here? Well, you'll get a contempt of Congress slap if you don't come in for a subpoena. Just a reminder that they subpoenaed Eric Trump. They subpoenaed Donald Trump Jr. They subpoenaed Ivanka and Jared and everyone in the Trump family. Like, all those kids have had to sit for 9 hours. Don Jr. had to sit for 9 hours in a subpoena in order to answer Adam Schiff's questions, right? And so now the Bidens turn in that hot seat. And more importantly, the Bidens actually have something to hide. Check this out from the House floor. Marjorie Taylor Greene with a massive printed out check explaining exactly what's going on.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm here to inform the House of Representatives that the Oversight Committee has indeed brought forward the receipts in our impeachment inquiry of Joe Biden. Through our investigation, we have uncovered a check to Joe Biden for $200,000. This comes from foreign funds from a country in the Middle East through a struggling company, and you can see the check is directly made to Joe Biden. This is what money laundering looks like. We've also uncovered and released today another check to Joseph R. Biden for $40,000. This $40,000 is a check written to him by his brother and sister-in-law, Sarah and James Biden, and this check comes from funds directly through money laundering through the CCP. No president of the United States, no vice president, no office holder should ever engage in money laundering, receiving money, selling out their office, selling out their power.
The gentlewoman's time is
expired. And getting paid from foreign countries.
The gentlewoman's time is expired.
Inquiry. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield back.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen. So this is the way that the racket worked. It's pretty obvious. And we're going to get you, there's an awesome article from the Daily Mail that it sequences exactly how many of the Biden family crimes have occurred in the public record. Now, there's a lot that we don't know about, but they have had their entire business, every business associate that they have has turned on them, whether it's Devon Archer, whether it's James Gilliard, whether it's Tony Bobulinski. Guys, this is a slam dunk case. And now when you bring in when you bring in the Bidens to answer direct questions about these relationships, they already have the testimony stacked up against them. They brought in their all of their business associates. They brought them all in. The IRS whistleblowers, everyone's been brought in. So now they have a mountain of evidence. This is how you go. This is prosecutorial. This is how you go through all of the evidence. You get all those testimonies locked in. And then it's a indictment trap, right? Like, so you bring them in and you get them to lie under oath and perjure themselves. Perjury trap, contempt of Congress. This has been the play. It's been a slow play. Some people are saying that because Kevin McCarthy is no longer speaker, that now this can move forward. And I would say that there's a lot of credence to that because way before he was the Speaker of the House and when he was just a twinkle in the eye of those who knew him, Speaker Mike Johnson gave this absolute flamethrower of a speech on the House floor, talking about exactly why Joe Biden must be impeached.
Expressly states that the sole power of impeachment belongs here to this House. And then Article 2, Section 4 says, listen to the language carefully. It's expressly written in the Constitution. This is not political talking points. We're not making this up. It says in Article 2, Section 4 that the president shall be removed from office on impeachment for and conviction of treason, bribery, or other high crimes and misdemeanors. My friends, I just listed just a small sampling, just the tip of the iceberg of the credible allegations and the mounting evidence that shows that Joseph Biden has engaged in bribery schemes, pay-to-play schemes. This is what the evidence shows. We have to follow it. We took an oath to uphold the Constitution. The Constitution requires this.
So, what is the bribery? Well, it's evidenced right here. What is the treason? Well, it's evidenced right here. This is the best. This is the best article. Let me format this here. This is the best article that I've seen with the most comprehensive breakdown of everything that the Bidens did. We'll go through it, but it's totally worth a preview of what you're about to see, because what you're about to see is the greatest money laundering and influence peddling scheme in America blown up in all of their faces, and it's the same thing that the Obamas do. It's the same thing the Bush family did. It's the same thing the Clintons did. It's just that the Bidens were so stupid. They were the dumbest criminals. They were so dumb. They got greedy. And many people say that it's all that Barack Obama is the person behind all of this. So it was posited on our show that when Joe Biden decided not to run for president, that's when he was leashed. He was loosed. Joe Biden was loosed into China and into Ukraine to start to cut these deals. By the way, where are the places in the world that are absolutely in apoplectic meltdown right now? China, Ukraine, the Middle East. The Middle East also, Joe Biden. So Barack Obama gave those plum pies to Joe Biden as a reward, knowing that Joe Biden would go and rape and pillage for his family there. All the jaw-dropping evidence that the GOP will use against Joe Biden ahead of the first impeachment inquiry hearing today, President Spade Cracker's corruption and alleged links to Hunter's deals. Okay? It would actually take all day to go through the amount of extreme crimes, including human trafficking, that Hunter Biden is being accused of here. But let's just take the top line. Joe Biden's share of Chinese millions. One of the most compelling pieces of evidence is Joe's son's shady business 10% for the big guy email found on the Hunter Biden laptop. In 2017, when the first son and his business partners were setting up a multi-million-dollar deal with the Chinese oil giant, Hunter's partner, James Gilliar, sent an email laying out the proposed ownership in the joint venture, suggesting we hold 10% on Joe's behalf. The list of owners, Gilliar wrote 10% each for the big guy. Along with the partner for Hunter Biden's Chinese oil deal. I mean, can we just stop for a second and say, so the Bidens were going to use China. So Bidens were going to sell. Hold on. The Bidens were going to sell all of our oil to the Chinese. They were going to put an LNG port in Houston and sell all of the, Corpus Christi, sell all of American oil to the Chinese in order to fund the Chinese war machine. How is that not treason? The Chinese are now so at war with America. This is such a cold war with America. They just took back all the pandas. You know this? This is breaking news right now. Chinese have said no more pandas in America. So every zoo in America has their pandas removed, including the zoo in Washington, D.C. Had their pandas removed right now. The resident of the White House, this guy has sold all of our strategic oil supply to China. In fact, this operation is still going on today. One of the biggest, greatest political scandals in human history is that Joe Biden is selling off our strategic petroleum reserve to China right now. Prosecutors have cast CEFC as a Beijing government-backed foreign influence operation run by two men jailed for their shady dealings. Executive Patrick Ho, who Hunter called the effing spy chief of China, was convicted of bribery in the U.S. in 2018 after being surveilled by the FBI. Was this the Bidens actually just cleaning up their loose ends? I think that's exactly what's going on here. Text messages from Bobulinski shared with Congress show that Gilliar and another partner in the Biden crime family, Rob Walker, describing Joe's involvements in the Chinese deal after Hunter mentioned my chairman in a group with co-investors with his father. Bobulinski wrote, when he said his chairman, he was talking about his father. There you go. Here's 10% for the big guy right there. Okay? It's all adding up. Oh, and by the way, remember this banger from the debates with Donald Trump?
I have not taken a penny from any foreign source ever in my life. We learned that this president paid 50 times the tax in China, has a secret bank account with China, does business in China, and in fact is talking about me taking money. I have not taken a single penny from any country whatsoever, ever. Number one. Number two, this is a president, I have released all of my tax returns, 22 years. Go look at them. 22 years of my tax return. You have not released a single solitary year of your tax return.
So wait a second. We literally have the text messages illuminated here between Hunter Biden and the Chinese saying, you got to pay me $5 million right now. I'm sitting here with Joe Biden. And then lo and behold, Joe Biden's bank account gets filled with blank checks as soon as that money arrives. Isn't that a stunning coincidence? Won't it be wonderful to get Hunter Biden and James Biden under the hot lights of Congress? The whistleblowers, two whistleblowers have come forward claiming direct firsthand knowledge of Joe Biden's involvement in Hunter Biden's business deals. Bobulinski said that he met with Joe in 2017 to discuss the Chinese oil deal. It's called CEFC, but we try as hard as we can to not use confusing acronyms. Text messages he shared with Congress allude to the alleged meeting. Bobulinski confirmed that the big guy was Joe Biden, and other emails on Hunter Biden laptop confirm. The second whistleblower has come forward to the Daily Mail in November of last year. Source told the Daily Mail that in 2012, he worked closely with the Biden family on Latin American online gambling companies. He said he ran with Hunter. Oh, interesting. These online gambling companies were connected to the cartels. Oh, interesting. Who's getting super rich right now based on Joe Biden's border policy? The cartels. It becomes very, very clear when you see that every decision that Joe Biden has made, his administration has made, has gone to enrich the people who Joe Biden had shady business partnerships with, whether that's Ukraine, whether that's China, whether that's the cartels. Isn't that wild? This man is such a damned traitor. Two senior IRS investigators, Jerry Schlafly and Joseph Ziegler, have blown the whistle on Congress, claiming that criminal investigation into Hunter Biden was obstructed by the justice officials and they were prevented from pursuing leads involving Joe Biden. We now know that to be demonstrably true. All evidence they gave to the House Ways and Means Committee earlier this week were transcripts from July 30th WhatsApp messages between Hunter Biden and his Chinese business partners, where he said, I am sitting here with my father, and attempted to get a $10 million shakedown. Wow. We also, of course, have the, and here's Hunter Biden with who knows in his father's Corvette. Who knows? Not going to. Yeah, no, I don't actually know who those women are, but based on the fact that it's Hunter Biden, you have to assume of ill repute. I am sitting here with my father. You can see the exact text messages here, here. There you go. Match this up with what Joe Biden said in the debates. Shocking voicemail and DC dinner. Joe has repeatedly denied speaking to his son about his overseas business dealings, but Daily Mail found voicemails on the Hunter Biden backup phone saved on his abandoned laptop. After the New York Times published, and ALX, let's grab that voicemail, please. After the New York Times published a piece about Hunter Biden's link to CEFC, Joe called his son and said, I thought the article released online was good. It's going to be printed tomorrow in the Times. I think you're in the clear. Is that what you say to an innocent person? Do you call up your son and say, I think you're in the clear? Well, if your son was an international criminal, maybe you would. This can work. You need a safe harbor, Jim wrote on December 19th. This is the brother who's just been subpoenaed, telling Hunter Biden to spend some time away at a ski retreat. I can work with your father alone, he says. I can work with your father alone. I want to help. I want to help. All these deals are still alive. I've spoken to your father, and he says he doesn't know where you are, but that you have been speaking. Isn't that amazing? So Joe had, you can see here, Joe had all of the intricate knowledge of how all this was working, man. Russia, isn't that amazing? The wife of the mayor of Moscow, goes and gets a fat stack of cash and pays off Hunter Biden. And then what happens next? She remains off of the censure list. She remains off the list of oligarchs that are, what's the word for that, ALX? Why is that escaping me right now? She remains off sanctioned. Sorry, not censured. Sanctioned. Censured was Rashida Tlaib yesterday. What's the Daily Mail talking about voicemails? Oh, luckily we have them.
Palace Dad, it's 8:15 on Wednesday night. If you get a chance, give me a call. Nothing urgent. Just want to talk to you. I thought the article, at least the thing online, it's going to be printed tomorrow in the Times, was good. I think it's clear. And anyway, if you get a chance, give me a call. I love you.
Okay. So wait a second. Why would Joe Biden be giving? So is this how the press works? Like, so the New York Times gave Joe Biden a heads up that they're going to run a hit piece on his son. And then Joe Biden goes and reads it and then tells his son, hey, I think you're in the clear. This is how it works, ladies and gentlemen. I think you're in the clear. Joe Biden said, again, do you say that to innocent people? No, you do not. You do not say those kind of things. Those are not the words that you use when you're talking to innocent people. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll continue here through the article. So the text messages go on. This one's really amazing. When he's texting with Haley Biden, Hunter Biden's talking about how his father makes him give him half his salary. It's really wild. Dodgy business partners. Daily Mail can reveal that two of Hunter Biden's business associates discussed getting up a consultancy with Joe Biden after he left the White House. Former FBI director Louis Freeh, with whom Hunter Biden represented, a Romanian fraudster. God, they're so dirty. And Biden donor and family friend Jeff Cooper both emailed Hunter Biden separately with ideas for firms serving overseas clients, pitching them as a partner. Again, it is the FARA violations that would really sink the entire family here. So here you have Hunter Biden and Joe Biden right there, with Jeff Cooper, Mexican billionaires Carlos Slim, Miguel Alderman Viesco, and son Miguel Alderman Miangi at a private meeting with then Vice President Joe Biden in the VP's office. The emails show that the men also met with Joe at the White House and that they were doing dirty deals together. Shared money, shared phones. Emails on Hunter Biden's abandoned laptop showed to the Daily Mail that Hunter Biden and Joe Biden paid each other's bills. Hunter Biden's business partner, Eric Schwerin, did the taxes. This is called piercing the veil. This is what happens when you intermingle finances, that every single action and every single time that money is moved, that is another felony. So there we go. I mean, the evidence is demonstrable. And by the way, Joe Biden's paying cash for mansions in Delaware. How's that possible? The math behind Joe Biden's missing $5.2 million. The president's financial filings show that he declared almost $7 million more in income than his tax returns than he did on his government transparency reports, raising questions, where'd all the extra cash come from? Yeah, isn't that interesting? Joe Biden shakes down the Chinese for $5 million in cash, and then suddenly he's just missing. Suddenly there's $5 million missing from his government transparency reports. Gosh, it's so unbelievably comical. Here are the Ukrainian energy partners at Burisma, and this is Devon Archer testifying against these two. Ooh, it's going to be wild, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be absolutely wild to see these rats turn on each other. Again, we do actually have the recordings of the rats turning on each other. This is my favorite, actually, from Hunter Biden, saying that everyone that he knows is turning against him and his father. This is a voicemail from Hunter Biden as it pertains to the Chinese business dealings. It goes on and on and on. Honestly, sometimes I feel like I'm taking crazy pills because we talk about this so much, but it is such a corrupt family. It becomes so difficult to actually keep track of how many laws get broken and how repulsive these people actually are. Listen to this.
The New York Times reporter calling about my representation of literally, Dr. Patrick Koh, the spy chief of China, who started the company that my partner, who was worth $323 billion, founded. It is now missing. And I am receiving calls from the Southern District of New York, from the U.S. Attorney himself. My best friend in business, Devon, has named me as a witness without telling me in a criminal case, and my father without telling me.
Oh, wow. Well, this is interesting. Who is this guy? Devon Archer? Oh, okay. Got it. So here's Devon Archer. There's a photo of Devon Archer. This is Devon Archer heading into Congress to testify against the Bidens. This guy then went on Tucker Carlson's program. ALX, can you grab me a quick clip of that? Went on Tucker Carlson's program and said, these guys are guilty. They're guilty. Okay? And I'm going to prove to you that they're guilty. Devon Archer has been cooperating. This is why it's important to have at least a branch of government working for us. Burisma. Hunter Biden took a $1 million a year job on the board of Burisma in 2014 while his father was responsible for foreign relations with Ukraine. This even freaked out the people inside of the Obama administration. This is the person who was Mykola Zhashevsky was the filthy greaseball Ukrainian who paid the Bidens. This is also the person that benefited from Joe Biden getting the prosecutor fired, Shokin. Hookers across state lines. Well, okay, these are blurred images, but goodness gracious. The first son spent a staggering $30,000 on escorts in a 5-month period across state lines in November 2018 to March of 2019. Remember that when, here's the actual checks. We got the checks. We got the checks. What else do you want? This is a violation of, at the very least, the Mann Act, bringing hookers across state line. Okay? Testimony from Internal Revenue Service indicates that the DOJ compiled a list of potential victims related to an investigation Hunter Biden for Mann Act violations. You cannot pay for prostitutions across state lines, or generally anywhere, right? Title 18, Section 2421 of the U.S. Code, also known as the Mann Act, says whoever knowingly transports an individual in interstate foreign commerce or any territory or possession of the United States with the intent that such an individual engage in prostitution or any sexual activity of which the person can be charged with a criminal offense, attempts to do so, shall be fined under this title or imprisoned 10 years or both. Okay? Well, we're here for it. Hey, we've been here for it for a long time. We've been waiting for this. But here it is, ladies and gentlemen, the actual subpoena for Hunter Biden. Okay? Finally, it is freaking here. Finally. Goodness gracious. To show you exactly how bad this is going to be for the Bidens and how these kind of operations work, I'm going to play you an interview with Tucker Carlson and with the Biden business partner, Devon Archer. And I'm going to play you these clips to show you exactly what Congress has done. Because I was just in Congress. I just had a bunch of meetings with these guys in private. We did a big live with a lot of them in public. But in private, we got an explanation directly from Comer of exactly how this operation works and how his lawyers, who are really, really good, are advising him. And the advice is, and this is how these things work. I'm no lawyer myself, but you should know anything that I know, you will know. You stack the evidence, right? You don't start off with a subpoena to Joe Biden and Hunter Biden, okay? You must stack evidence and testimony against them. And then you get them to lie in a perjury trap and an indictment trap and a contempt of Congress trap. Congress can order people to prison. You know that, right? Congress can order people. If you're in contempt of Congress, Congress then sends that contempt charge to the DOJ, and the DOJ can arrest you and bring you into Congress. They can literally physically haul you into Congress. This has happened before, where Congress has ordered the arrest of people. This will happen, I think, to the Bidens. I don't know how they're going to get away from it. Donald Trump would have shielded his kids if he could have. He couldn't do it. I don't know how they will shield Joe Biden and Hunter Biden from answering questions. And here's what here's ultimately what they have is they actually have the people who are testifying against them on the record. Here is the incredible clip of Devon Archer, who is the guy behind all of this, the person who was put in charge of babysitting Hunter Biden. Okay. This guy being asked by Tucker Carlson, did Joe Biden know about any of this? Was Joe Biden involved in any of this? Here's the testimony that they've locked in Congress. Watch.
The reaction to what you've said in public, to what you said to the committee on the Hill, and doubtless to what you've been telling us in this interview, is that there's no corruption here at all. This is totally normal. Joe Biden had no role whatsoever in his son's business or knowledge of it. But
right.
That seems false.
Yeah, I think that's categorically false. I think that he was aware of Hunter's business. He met with Hunter's business partners. You found a letter that illustrates that he knew me,
And he's thanking you. He's thanking you for his efforts.
So I think that was, I think
for your efforts. Yeah.
I think that that's that's not factually right.
Yeah. Well, what else isn't factually right is how much Hunter Biden would lean on his father during these meetings. This one's going to be great. So Hunter Biden used to pick up a phone call, he used to pick up his phone and used to show off his foreign business partners by calling his father and by getting his dad on the phone. There's the influence peddling. Kash Patel on the show saying that's your influence peddling. That's all you need. That's all you need. Joe Biden doesn't need to get the direct payments. Karine Jean-Pierre being like, there's no direct evidence. They definitely changed they've been advised to change their language on that. There's no direct evidence. Well, this is your direct evidence. This is influence peddling and bribery by definition. When Hunter Biden called his father and to have him talk to some Kazakhstani warlord. Watch.
They told Hunter to, quote, call his dad?
Yeah, I think referencing the email that you put earlier, there was constant pressure to send signals, to leverage all of his dad included, but the Biden brand, all of the the DC insider and relationships to help Burisma survive. I think that's at the end of the day what we're talking about.
I mean, that was the idea.
That's
what he brought.
It was that ability to help on the geopolitical stage.
When they asked him to call his dad, did he?
I was not privy to the conversation directly, but they've asked. That was. Vadim met with his dad at dinner at Cafe Milano, a famous dinner at Cafe Milano. I did not listen to a particular call where they spoke, but I know that the request was made by Vadim a lot.
So here is a piece. We just mentioned Kash Patel. Here's a piece of breaking commentary from Kash Patel saying that these subpoenas are meaningless unless the GOP has the balls to initiate contempt proceedings when the subpoenas are violated for failure to comply. So we'll see what happens. But Kash, who's a really good handicapper on this stuff, is saying we better be prepared for them to ignore these subpoenas or try and get out of them. Again, I will remind you the people that I'm particularly close with, Don and Eric, and the entire Trump kids and all of the entire Trump family, was run through the ringer again and again and again by Adam Schiff in Congress. Don Jr. had to testify for 9 hours on the Russia collusion hoax. Guys, how is Hunter Biden going to get out of this? We'll see. We'll see. Congress better be ready. Congress better come correct. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are here correct for tonight. Be prepared. We're going to have one heck of a program for you. There is going to be some really interesting, we've been getting some very interesting content here in Miami. And of course, we will be bringing you very much behind the scenes, front and center for the debate and for the Trump rally, which is just down the street from the debate. Epic move, once again, by Donald Trump. How do we do it? Well, lots of caffeine, honestly, lots of caffeine. But I am probably on my 9th cup of coffee today. Maybe it shows. Maybe it shows. And what do I drink? I drink my blackout coffee. I actually have a tumbler that I bring on the road with me. I drink my blackout coffee on the road. I'm very picky about my coffee. That keeps me going. This is the energy that pulses through my vein. This is a show that is driven by caffeine. I really love caffeine. And I love drinking caffeine that is brewed here in the great state of Florida and also is made by people who care about our values. The same values that you and I have goes into these beans, and it makes them sweet, delicious, and it gives me the energy to fight the communists. Please take my personal recommendation and drink Blackout Coffee. 100% committed to our values. Blackoutcoffee.com/Benny. Use the coupon code Benny and get 20% off your first order. Stop giving your money away to woke companies that do not care about you. Stay true with blackoutcoffee.com. Go to Benny, blackoutcoffee.com/Benny, or click the link in the description. Baby, we out here. We out here. Okay? We're going to bring you like everything that we got on all this. And more importantly, we're going to ensure that we bring you a verse of the day. We wouldn't miss our verse of the day. Hold on. I know it's here in our chat, ALX. Where's it at? Will you surface it for me? There you go. Okay, fantastic. From Genesis. Okay, we're going old school. Genesis 12:3. I will bless those who bless you, and with him who dishonors you, I will curse, and in you all the families of earth shall be blessed. So know this, that when people are saying all sorts of horrible things about our movement, and when people are attempting to tear down those who wish to protect life, those who wish to protect the family, those who wish to protect our children, they are saying evil things, okay? They are cursing us. We are standing for right, and God will have his in the end, okay? I will bless those who bless you, and I will curse those who curse you. Baby, stand up for God, stand up on principles, stand up for something that is true and everlasting. This mortal world will come to an end. The nations shall rise and fall. The seas shall rise and fall. The mountains shall fall into the sea, okay? Things change. They've always changed. You will be promised not really a great role here, unfortunately. Like, this is a sunken place, and it's a fallen place. But what we can be promised is we can be promised salvation in our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and we can be promised that God has our back, is looking out for us, and will bless those who bless us, curse those who curse us, and our families shall inherit the earth. I'm looking forward to getting back to my 3 kids, but we have a wild night ahead of us. We hope you stay tuned. A lot to come. Get ready. It's your boy Benny here live from a teeny little hotel room in Miami with the breaking news. Thank you for watching. God bless you. See ya.